Y'all seen this? School is back in session already. That went fast. Welcome to She Knows DNA. My name is Miavonna and I am a board certified genetic counselor. In honor of all of the school shopping, the meeting the teachers, crying at drop off, I decided that this week would be about a topic that is relevant for teachers and their parents. So with that being said, let's get into it. Let's talk about attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, also known as ADHD. I'm sure as soon as I said ADHD, some of you all imagine a little boy running, going crazy, and he can't sit still. But what if I told you is that's not the complete picture for those that actually have ADHD. Before we get into the weeds, I want to clarify one thing. So you may have heard of attention deficit disorder, otherwise known as ADD. Those that were diagnosed with ADD, they were more so inattentive. That was their main symptom of them not being able to pay attention and focus. But in 1987, ADD then was demolished, and then we have ADHD. So ADHD is now the common term that's used now, and ADD is outdated. According to the American Psychiatric Association, ADHD is defined as a mental disorder with symptoms including inattention or not being able to focus, hyperactivity, excess movement that is not fitting to the setting, and impulsivity, hasty acts that occur in the moment without thought. I know most of us are familiar with boys being diagnosed with ADHD, but honestly, girls can have ADHD really at the same rate as boys. The issue is that in girls, it is underdiagnosed, and that is because boys typically show the hyperactivity and the impulsivity, external types of symptoms, whereas girls, they usually have that inattentiveness, meaning they can't really focus. As far as what causes ADHD, what if I told you that it is in fact a genetic condition? Deuce, I am trying to film. Can you please? He is obviously feeling better. My goodness. So ADHD is considered a genetic condition because there are various genes in our body that work together, and whenever there is some type of variant or mutation in those genes, then ADHD can come about. Of course, some of these genes have been identified, but research is still ongoing and they keep finding even more genes. But what I will tell you is that there is a good amount of these genes that are associated with brain development. More specifically, dopamine. Dopamine, you know, is the feel good, right? It's that feel good feeling. It lets us know what pleasure is, or gives us motivation, or even control of our motor skills. It is estimated that about 8.2 of all children have ADHD and 2.5 of adults. Now, I can't give DNA all the credit because there is also that environmental factor to where when those factors are present, someone's more prone to be affected with ADHD. And what is that field called? Very good, epigenetics. And so you have to take into consideration that they have a low birth weight. Were they born premature? Whenever their mom was pregnant with them, was the baby exposed to teratogens like alcohol and smoking? So those are also things to consider. As research continues for ADHD, they have found that it has a high heritability rate, meaning that this is why you can sometimes see ADHD running in families. So that rate is about as high as 88%. And you can think the same thing when it comes to schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and autism disorder. Now let's talk about race. In 2020, the CDC put out a study, or more so the results of a study, concentrating on different racial groups and seeing which one had the most diagnoses for ADHD. Black children was number one, and more specifically, Black boys. What is interesting about that is that even more recent studies, like the one put on by CDC in 2024, shows that the levels are kind of evening out, especially between white kids and Black kids. So from a statistics standpoint, the question may become, okay, did the population for white kids being diagnosed, did it increase Or did it decrease for Black kids? If you are looking at those results from a different lens, then you can conclude that Black boys are overly diagnosed with ADHD compared to other races. Last thing, have you ever had a parent come up to you and say, don't give my kid red dye food coloring because it makes them hyper? Well, it does turn out, at least with some articles, but it's not fully proven, but some articles do say that if a person has ADHD, then the consumption of red dye 40 makes them even more hyper. Again, it does not cause ADHD, but baby, it does not help. So teachers, if you see that you have a child that has ADHD in your classroom, for your sake, don't give them red dye. Yeah. All right, y'all. I pray that y'all have the most amazing school year. And now to leave you with words of wisdom. Speaking of ADHD, y'all know I have my baby doggy, Duso Shea Barquavius Craig. And thank you. Y'all know he's been on the sick and shut-in, list. But here's the thing. The advice I need to give you all is, yes, of course you can get the dog, because that's my baby. Okay. So yes, get the dog, but get your rich husband first. Now, before you take this the wrong way, I'm not a gold digger. I have money. Okay, don't worry about me. We good over here. I just need a help meet to help with not only his medical bills, but mine. How do both of us have bad allergies? How are both of us sickly? It makes no sense. I need help. It's hard being a single mother. Okay? I love it. I'll do anything for my baby, but gosh darn it, something has to give. That's my advice. That's all I have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for continuing to support She Knows DNA. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Give me your ideas and your comments. Have a party down there in the comments. Let me know what y'all are thinking about these videos and suggestions on future ones. But until then, I will see y'all next week, next Tuesday, all right? May God bless you and may he keep you. Goodbye, everybody.